The story shifts to the next day, marked by a bright, clear sky that feels almost too cheerful for the setting. The sun glints off the modern architecture of the Byakje Sky Park Memorial Hall. It is a place of quiet reflection, where the living come to whisper their final words to those who have moved on. A young man arrives at the hall, his presence announced by a rhythmic step that echoes through the quiet corridor. Viewed from behind, he wears a sturdy, tan-colored jacket, his shoulders set with a mix of determination and solemnity. He moves with a purpose, heading deeper into the heart of the memorial. As he nears his destination, his pace slows. His hand hangs loosely at his side, fingers slightly curled in a moment of unconscious hesitation. The sound of another step is captured in the frame, highlighting the physical and emotional weight of each movement as he nears the resting place of someone dear. The perspective shifts to a high-angle view, revealing the vastness of the memorial chamber. The man stands small against the floor's geometric patterns, surrounded by walls lined with countless columbarium niches. Each glass-fronted box holds a story, a photograph, and a lifetime of memories. The soft light filtering through the room creates an atmosphere of peaceful sanctity. Finally, he reaches the specific niche he came to visit. A soft, bittersweet smile plays on his lips as he looks at the memorial. He breaks the silence with a voice that is both tender and steady, saying, "Hey, Mingi." It isn't a cry of grief, but a warm greeting to an old friend, as if the distance between life and death could be bridged by a simple conversation. Standing before the glass pane, he gazes at the white urn marked with the name Min-ji Go. Tucked beside it is a cherished photograph of two brothers, or perhaps close friends, flashing peace signs and wearing radiant, carefree smiles against a backdrop of summer greenery. With a heavy but steady heart, he whispers a simple phrase that carries the weight of many missed days. "I'm back." He stands still for a moment, his black loafers planted firmly on the patterned floor of the memorial hall. The air is quiet, filled only with the soft light reflecting off the tiles. Looking down at the space between them, he asks the question he's been carrying since his last visit. "How have you been?" It is a quiet inquiry, spoken as if expecting a familiar voice to answer back from the silence. He looks toward the window, where the bright, clear sky remains visible, a stark contrast to the somber nature of his visit. Trying to find a moment of peace in the shared atmosphere, he notes the clarity of the afternoon. A small, sad smile touches his face as he thinks aloud, "I'm glad the weather's nice today." His thoughts then drift to the past, perhaps to a memory they both shared about the gloomier parts of life. The bright sky in the background seems to remind him of the days that weren't so kind. He leans in closer to the memorial, his voice dropping to a confidential tone as he remarks, "You must hate rainy days too, right?" As if in response to his words, a sudden swoosh echoes through the frame. It is the sound of a gust of wind or a sudden movement in the air, cutting through the stillness of the hall. Against the dark, streaked background, the sound effect emphasizes a shift in the atmosphere, as if a spirit is passing by, or the world itself is sighing in empathy with his grief.
The sequence begins with a sudden, violent strike. A heavy whack echoes through the rainy night as a blunt force connects with the back of a young man's head. The impact is so severe that it sends a spray of blood across the wet pavement. His dark hair is matted with crimson as he is blindsided by an unseen assailant, his body already beginning to fail him under the weight of the blow. Gravity takes hold as the victim collapses toward the cold, slick ground. A sharp, pained "ugh" escapes his lips, a final gasp of consciousness before the world turns upside down. The rain continues to fall relentlessly, mixing with the fresh blood pooling on his light-colored sweatshirt as he hits the asphalt. The perspective shifts to a wider angle, revealing the grim aftermath of the encounter. Two figures lie motionless on the ground, their bodies broken and bleeding under the dim streetlights. In the foreground, the dark silhouette of the attacker looms for a brief second before they take flight. A blurred dash sound effect indicates the culprit is fleeing the scene, leaving the victims behind in the silence of the storm. One of the victims, a young man with dark, damp hair, lies on his side, his face bruised and streaked with blood. As he stares blankly at his companion lying nearby, a chilling thought flashes through his mind. Duh, I didn't think he'd be after me, too. The weight of the betrayal or the unexpected nature of the hunt sets in, even as his strength fades. The scene concludes with a sense of mounting dread. A sharp swoosh cuts through the air, perhaps signaling a final movement or a passing shadow. The victim's internal monologue grows frantic as he looks toward his friend, thinking with fading breath, "At this rate, Mingi will..." The sentence trails off, leaving the fate of his companion and himself hanging in a precarious, life-threatening balance. The camera draws closer to the tragedy unfolding on the wet pavement. Minji lies face down, his body limp and unmoving as the rain washes over his dark, blood-stained hair. The vibrant life he once held seems to be draining into the cold asphalt, leaving behind only the stark, grim reality of the assault. With his last remaining strength, the second victim struggles to keep his eyes open, his vision blurring as he gazes toward his fallen friend. His face is a mask of pain and desperation, streaked with both rainwater and deep crimson wounds. In a faint, heart-wrenching whisper that is nearly lost to the wind, he utters one final name, Min-ji. The struggle finally reaches its end. The word close appears on the screen as the young man's eyelids flutter and then shut tight, sealing away the world of pain and the sight of the rainy street. A single trail of blood runs down his forehead, a silent testament to the violence that has extinguished his consciousness. The scene shifts drastically to a quiet, sterile environment, a columbarium where the remains of the departed are kept. A young man in a tan coat stands before one of the glass-fronted niches, his hand resting gently on the frame. His expression is one of quiet mourning as he speaks to the memory of the person inside. "Sorry I couldn't come by more often. I've been a little busy these past few days." The visitor lingers, his head bowed as he reflects on a debt that can no longer be repaid in person. The soft glow of the memorial lights reflects off his coat as he continues his one-sided conversation. His voice carries a heavy weight of regret as he mentions a lingering commitment, and about that gift I promised you. The scene leaves the nature of the gift and the identity of the person he is visiting shrouded in a bittersweet mystery. The story opens with a close-up of a young man with soft brown hair and a gentle expression, bathed in a warm, dappled sunlight that filters through the lush green leaves of the trees behind him. He wears a serene and optimistic smile. His eyes are closed in a moment of quiet confidence as he thinks to himself, "I think I might be able to get it sooner than expected." There's a sense of burgeoning success and relief in his demeanor, suggesting that a long-awaited goal is finally within his reach. Continuing the bright outdoor atmosphere, the young man is seen sharing a light-hearted moment with a young girl, likely a younger sister or a close relative. Both are beaming with pure happiness, their eyes squeezed shut in wide, genuine grins. The man holds up a peace sign, mirroring the playful energy of the child beside him. This scene emphasizes the personal stakes and the warmth of the relationships he is fighting to protect or provide for. The tone shifts from the sunny outdoors to a more serious, dimly lit interior. We see the top of a woman's head. Her long, wavy auburn hair cascades down as she speaks with calculated precision. The dialogue bubbles reveal the weight of her words.
I told you I can give you the information you need, the kind of information that will let you pull strings on anyone in my family. She is offering a dangerous level of leverage, indicating a complex web of family betrayal and high-stakes maneuvering. The camera pulls back to reveal the woman in full. She possesses a sharp, elegant beauty with piercing reddish-brown eyes and sophisticated silver earrings. Dressed in a professional white blouse over a black turtleneck, she holds a mug, her hand pressed against her chest, as if to emphasize her sincerity, or perhaps to steady her own nerves. Her expression is one of intense focus and gravity. She is a woman who has made a difficult decision and now following through with a cold, firm resolve. In the final scene, the woman stands opposite a tall, dark-haired man dressed in a sharp black suit. The man's expression is stoic and unreadable, his gaze fixed intently on her as he listens to her terms. He responds with a professional, clipped tone. "I'll start preparing the documents you mentioned." The interaction is formal and heavy with subtext, marking the beginning of a powerful and perhaps perilous alliance. The bright, hopeful world of the first scenes has now been replaced by the shadow-filled reality of corporate or familial warfare.
The negotiation reaches its climax as the auburn-haired woman lays out her specific conditions for this dangerous alliance. She offers a concession while making a firm demand, stating, "You can keep seeing Nayeong if you want, just make sure that Dongsung leaves me alone." This request highlights her desperation to escape the influence or harassment of a specific family member, using her secret information as the ultimate bargaining chip. The camera zooms in on the man's face, capturing his reaction to her ultimatum. His sharp, narrow eyes are filled with a calculating intensity as he processes her words. There is no warmth in his expression, only the cool professionalism of someone accustomed to navigating the murky waters of power and secrets. His steady, unblinking stare suggests that he has accepted the terms and is now mentally preparing the moves required to fulfill his end of the bargain. The narrative shifts to provide a shocking piece of background information that explains the woman's motives. A stark text panel reveals her true status within her powerful family. So-young Ji, Chairman Ji's illegitimate daughter. This revelation clarifies why she possesses such damaging secrets and why she is so eager to pull strings on a family that likely never truly accepted her as one of their own. A flashback or a realization scene depicts a formal dinner setting that feels more like a prison than a family gathering. So-young sits at the head of a long table surrounded by family members who refuse to acknowledge her presence. The narrative text poignantly notes, "It seemed like she was always neglected and ignored in her family home." While the others are depicted with some clarity, So-young's face is shrouded in a blue shadow, symbolizing her invisibility and the emotional distance between her and her kin. The final image offers a wider view of this cold family dynamic. The table is laden with gourmet food and wine, yet the atmosphere is devoid of any joy or conversation. The family members sit in stiff, formal poses, their attention directed everywhere except towards So-young. This scene serves as a powerful visual representation of the years of silence and rejection that fueled her decision to betray them, turning her from a neglected daughter into a formidable adversary.